Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni podcast.
What's up, beautiful people at home on YouTube and iTunes, to another exciting episode, or fuck-episode, of the Black Oni podcast. I am your host, J Blaze 06, and I am joined today by the theonekk.
What's going on?
And Trinity Marc Blu.
Yo.
And this is episode 37. It is the final episode of 2014. We're closing out the year with a fairly modest episode, but also like a fairly interesting one because this is kind of like the wind down from the entire year, like what happened throughout the year, you know, what things are we excited for moving forward, etc., etc. So before we move on to our first icebreaker, or our last icebreaker of 2014, are there anything that you guys would like to advertise or pimp out to the people at home so that they know what you guys are up to?
I'm good. If you haven't checked out the giveaways yet, that closes soon.
Really?
That closes soon, right? Like a couple
January
days.
1st, yeah.
So make sure you check out the giveaways, and we'll be giving some prizes away. Mm-hmm. When does it end? Does it end on the 31st?
It's either the 31st or January 1st.
Okay.
So it might be that in between, whatever. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Cool. And I will, prizes will be shipping shortly thereafter. I'm in Vegas until January 10th, but it will ship out on like the 12th. So,
and obviously, courtesy of the theonekk, he's been very kind to allow the Black Oni channel to be able to give you guys some of this stuff. I'm also going to be giving you guys some things as well. So depending on who the winner is and like what system they have, I'll be adding a little something to that as well. So I don't want to just throw something in there that someone can't use. So that is going to be exciting for people because this is the first like giveaway that the Black Oni channel has had.
Pretty cool. Historic stuff.
Yeah, it's like official and shit. What about you?
As always, I got the new website up, dariusmarant.com. That's where you can see my latest photography work, and also my Instagram, which is just Darius Marant.
Hell yeah. And I've been a big fan of his photography work for a long time. You guys should definitely check it out. If you're looking for photographers, someone in the Boston area, I know people. And also, Kevin has a YouTube channel. And
I do. With miscellaneous things on it. So check it out. I have like 2 followers. I'd like more than 2.
More than 2. There was a video he put up in relation to the Black Oni podcast. There was like the Tomodachi.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it until much later. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
That's fair. I kind of forgot about Tomodachi for like 4 months, so that's understandable.
It was so good.
Yeah. That game was very funny for a very short amount of time, and then I was done with it.
Well, what was the last thing you did on that game before you just like stopped playing it?
I don't know. I think I had one of my characters propose to another, and then randomly like 3 other people showed up and also proposed to him. And then the music got dramatic, and then he chose, and that was it.
That's awesome. Who did you choose?
I think Jess. I don't know. I think the video's up. I think that was the one with Jess and Lauren. I think there was another one too. I can't remember. I don't know. That game's dramatic and funny. I might go back to it at some point.
I feel like it's a good game to play when you're like drunk around a bunch of friends. You're just like, oh, what if we do this?
Yeah. I don't know. There isn't that much to do. Like every time you log in, you've got like everybody wants one thing, and then after that, they like very slowly want more things. So there isn't much to do every time you log in. So I might do that while I'm on the airplane. That seems like a good airplane thing.
That's true.
Can sort of feel like I'm hanging out with friends, but not really.
And this is a good segue into our icebreaker. And what is your game of the year for 2014? And conversely, what is your biggest disappointment of 2014? So I'll go first with my biggest disappointment of 2014.
Okay.
And I want to preface this by saying it's not that I don't like the game.
I think I know what this is going to be. It might be the same as mine.
Yeah, but considering the potential that this game had to really just change the landscape and change the way we thought about this particular style of genre, it's Destiny.
Yeah.
And I still like the game. Like, the mechanics are very sound. Playing it with friends is a lot of fun. Playing it without friends is not as much fun. And playing it after you've gotten to level 20 is just like...
Tedious.
It's so tedious.
Yeah, very tedious.
They made it a little better since like their last patch, but it's still like it's not anywhere near the level it needs to be. Like, it needs to reward players that are doing well with stuff that, like, the story was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah.
In the Dark Below, it's much better. I will say that.
And
but
when they said they were going to support it for 10 years, I don't think people realize that that means we're going to release one expansion pack every 6 months and charge you $20 every time, and offer one raid.
wait, was the expansion $20?
$10?
I was about to say.
Yeah. But still, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's $20 a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be a $260 game if you actually want to play the whole thing.
Right.
Well, you put it that way.
And, like, we'll have a new system in 10 years, so you'll have to buy it all again.
And I guess the best game of the year. You know, I put this question on there, and I was like confident I had the answer, but now
It's a tricky question.
it is because like it depends on what genre you want to go with, right?
Yep.
And so
And no game is perfect. Like, I don't think we've had a definitive standout this year. I think we've had a lot of very solid games, but
Right.
none that have been, like,
yeah,
far and away the best game.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that one. I think. See, I want to say the fanboy in me wants to say Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. I mean, but it's a short game, right? You know, it had an objective of just giving us a teaser of what's to come.
Right.
So, in all honesty, it can't be that game just because like it was just meant to be the thing to like tie you over into
Yeah, like a prologue type of thing.
exactly. But like
It was PT, but it cost money.
right, exactly.
Struggling.
I'm struggling so hard because I put the question on there. I had an intention of saying Metal Gear, but now that I'm thinking about it more, I can't say that.
Yeah.
I can't.
Not yet, anyway.
No. I think I have to give it to Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Like you're much further in that game than I am.
I finished it. I'm on my second playthrough.
Oh my god. But it's so good. It's
It's
so
I don't
good.
even have the game, but I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend, and I was just saying, out of all the games released so far for like the next gen, I think that's the one where it looked good, but it was also just a lot of effort put into it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like this is the year that like so many games have come out that were just like not even ready. Not
Right.
even ready to be released, and they were just like, "Hey, by the way, Dragon Age Inquisition, boom!" Like, just so much content, so much environment to explore, so many character interactions.
So since this question just got sort of chopped short, since we all seem to have the same Game of the Year choice, what are the honorable mentions? I'm gonna say Infamous. I think
Yes.
it's really, really solid.
Yes, I was just going to say that I loved Infamous. Some people might say like it might be overrated or they didn't do enough, but I thought like,
It was short.
yeah,
I think it was a great introduction back into Infamous, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next,
The production values were astounding. Like, it was a really, really gorgeous game. The voice acting and the overall acting in general was really solid.
facial animations are great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the powers were so much fun to play around with. Like, aside from like the last power you get, which spoiler,
Yeah,
it's like the concrete power. Like, you get it at the very end, and like at
And
that
it's
point,
not very great
it's
anyway.
not very good.
like it was cool, but it just wasn't as fleshed out as the other ones. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's kind of
Right.
But no, it reached the point where the game was like most of the way over, where certain character dies,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be like a surprise, and I was like, oh, that's a very good halfway point. Oh,
Nope.
the game is over. You're sending me on the final mission.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, and I really liked the interactions between like the Native American family, like that culture.
Yeah.
But my whole thing about Infamous was like, you always had the option to be good or bad in any scenario. There was never any incentive or like reason to be bad in pretty much any of those situations. So like I felt like it was like literally driving you towards the good decision because it's the one that made sense for the character and for the world.
And just like the other Infamous, it's not like there's a gray area. Like it's not like you gain good and evil powers. It's like A or B. There's no walking a straight line, and that's always sort of the problem. So once you do something bad, you kind of just have to keep being a total jerk.
Yeah.
Or else you'll unlock like every shit. You can always go back between, well, not back between, but like if you start like bad, you can always like go towards good.
Yeah. Only until you get the first power, and then you're pretty much locked in because all of the missions that show up, like all of the graffitis are the good graffitis. I don't know, you can still choose.
Yeah, you can still choose the graffitis, but I think I know what you're saying though.
Just gets a little messy because you're like you have to go one way. So
yeah, that was gonna be my honorable mention.
Yeah. I gotta say Smash Brothers too. Smash Brothers on Wii U is so much damn fun.
Really?
So much fun.
Even more so than Mario Kart?
I like it more, but Mario Kart is also a very good honorable mention. So
yes.
Those would be my 3 honorable mentions. I feel like there could be a lot more, but I'll stop there.
I mean, if you wanna add one more honorable mention, you are allowed to. If you don't, then I probably will.
Go for it.
Or actually, Trinity Marc will, since he didn't.
Yeah. I think I really like Little Big Planet 3.
Yep.
So now y'all making me want to get that game.
It's a good game. You would think, it's just more of the same, which it is, but at the same time, they've added a lot of new game mechanics that kind of make the experience pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And
How are the new characters?
Oh, they're pretty cool. I think I have one more to unlock. The bird character.
Okay.
But that and just the new game mechanics really make it like fresh and fun. So it's like more of the same, but it's like a good evolution of it too. So
did they? I know people had they had a problem with the way that the mechanics worked out, where like it felt a little too it felt too physics based. So like if you were like running and then you stop, like your character like takes an extra step. Type of thing.
A little bit of momentum.
Yeah. Is that still present?
It's present, but I guess the kind of way to combat that is to obviously when you realize that's happening, you want to take a little step back, kind of, since you know you're going to go forward, kind of account for it a little bit.
Right.
So it kind of makes you think in that way. So it's not terrible, but it is there.
Like I never really had the issue with that, but I know a lot of people kind of had that as a criticism behind the game, like why they couldn't really like recommend it so easily to like newcomers, for example.
Yeah, it's not an issue for me. I just kind of adjust my play style just a little bit. So, yeah.
What's your favorite character in Little Big Planet 3?
I gotta go with Sackboy still.
Okay,
just because the new characters, I just got to them, so I haven't really got to explore that much. But
that's pretty awesome. And I guess everyone's biggest disappointment was indeed Destiny.
Yeah, I was gonna say for mine that it had been Driveclub.
Really?
Just because I was waiting for it for so long, like I would talk about it to my friends, like, gonna be the best racing game ever.
Yeah, we used to talk about that too.
And free.
Exactly. And then the launch came, and it just was a horrible launch. I didn't say it just because it's a lot better now. After all the updates to it and stuff like that. Like, I got into it and played around with the weather and stuff like that, and it's very beautiful. And
I heard that shit is awesome. I saw some footage of that. I was just like, okay, all right, all right.
Photo mode now, so I mean, it's a much better game than it was at launch. But just from the launch, it made that impression on me to kind of be disappointed. But even though it's doing better now.
There are other things I could say too, because there's a bunch of games that I thought looked really great and then didn't pick up. But because I didn't pick them up, I can't really. They don't stick in my head.
Right.
Like I'm thinking maybe Watch Dogs. Yeah. I know there were others too.
Yeah, I think those are probably the most prominent ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally with. I before we move on to the next thing quickly. I almost bought Driveclub from Amazon because it was on sale for $30. And I was like, ooh, that's so enticing, but I still don't know if the game is working yet.
I think you can wait probably a couple more months for it. Because then by the time you get it, then it'll just probably be flawless. So that'll be a good pickup.
Right. And it's not like I don't have something to play in the meantime anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of playing in the meantime, Will Way.
What?
I know Greg Miller has the Greg Way. Like a segue. I don't. I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Work on it. Work on that.
What are you guys playing?
A lot. I've got one game per system right now.
Oh, that's pretty great.
More than one game per system. But I'll go with the last 48 hours. Smash Brothers on Wii U. Theater Rhythm 2 on 3DS, because it's amazing. Kingdom Hearts 2.5
Nice.
on PlayStation 3, because Birth by Sleep is still my favorite Kingdom Hearts game, and it's
It
short.
started that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? Like Birth by
Birth
Sleep
by
or 2?
Sleep.
Yeah. Birth by Sleep's so much fun. And it's got more stuff going on than any of the others, so
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
cool. And still Dragon Age on PS4.
And it's great because you said you beat that game and you're still playing it. That's a good sign.
I also just bought Walking Dead Season 2 because it was $6 on the flash sale.
Oh yeah, that was a steal right there.
That is a super steal.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be playing through that very soon. I might live stream that actually. It seems like a good game to live stream, even though it's like very spoiler heavy, obviously. But
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because if somebody makes a different decision, like in the first 5 minutes, it's no longer spoilers because chances are those characters are dead.
that's true. That's true. So who is your main in Smash Brothers?
I don't know. I still haven't really figured that out. On the 3DS, I like Wario a lot. He's a super heavy hitter. I also love Meta Knight, so I think I'm going to say Meta Knight.
Meta Knight. I haven't played as Meta Knight, but I would assume that's a pretty good choice.
He's pretty straightforward. He's fast.
He has a sword.
He doesn't have like a super amount of moves, but he's good. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
But I also still haven't played with all the characters because there's like 100.
Right.
So.
Really? Well, I mean, not literally, but
No, there's a lot.
that's exciting. I like a lot of characters.
And on the Wii U, there are characters that I didn't realize were in the game. So
you have to unlock them by doing story modes and stuff like that?
Well, there are some that were just there, like when the game started, that weren't on the 3DS. So they said they weren't going to do that, but they did. Some are characters that unlock on the 3DS, so I don't think there are any different characters, but
Right.
yeah. Since you have to play like 500 rounds to unlock all the characters, I didn't know that they were there at all.
All right, so Trinity Marc Blu, what are you playing?
Obviously a little bit Planet 3. I bought Tomb Raider because that was on sale on the PlayStation Store for like $18. So
Was that
As
the first
in,
time you were playing it?
yep, my first time playing it.
As in like the remake, or as in the Guardians of
The remake, definitive edition.
Cool.
I've been waiting for that to reach a good price, so I picked that up for $18. I just started it, so I'm still getting into that.
I loved that game.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I love that game so much.
Yeah,
It's definitely one of my favorite games of like last year.
I think that's all I'm playing right now. I'm playing GTA, but I haven't been playing online as much lately. So, but I think those two, a little bit Planet and Tomb Raider.
Nice.
So what have I been playing? I'm playing Dragon Age. I finally had a chance to play that again, like sit down and really spend some time with it, and it's just like it's just impressive. Like that's the best word I can use for it.
Have you decided who your romance is going to be?
Okay, Liliana, I think her name is.
You can't romance her.
God damn it!
The developer said they don't want to create a situation where you might be cheating on yourself, so anybody that's been a romance in a previous game will not be a romance in a future game.
God damn it! I want it to be her because I like her a lot. She's my favorite character so far.
Okay.
But I still don't know. I haven't acquired all the other characters yet, so I don't.
You
know.
really haven't played much.
All right. Listen, I acquired that archer with that like North British accent. I can't remember what her name is.
Sarah?
I think her name was Sarah.
Yeah,
she
her
was
name's
with
Sarah.
the red
Jenny.
Red Jenny. That's what it was. I acquired that black mage who's also the mistress to one of the kings. I think.
To a duke.
What's her name?
Vivienne?
That's her. Yes. I acquired her, and I mentioned to her, I was like, so, what about, like, I'm always fearful to, like, ask that question down there, because it's always like, how is he going to ask a question? Is he going to be
Oh,
like,
you should always ask it. The results are amazing. When it's a
Like-
no, it's the best.
like, yo, when you going to let me in them buns?
Yeah. Like, make sure you ask Cullen. Go up to Cullen and just ask if something will work, and he'll just be like, I'm flattered, but no.
That's amazing.
And if you ask Sarah, she just goes, oh, well, that's very nice, and I like you, but I don't think that will work. We have too much in common in that we both like women.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You should always ask that question. Do not be afraid to be a flirt. Just don't get in the way of the romances that will happen if you, like, aren't involved. So look those up.
Interesting.
There are two.
So
I got in the way of both of them, so I didn't see either unfold.
Oh no.
So it's just like in Mass Effect, the like the Tali romance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
What else have I been playing? There's a whole bunch of games on PlayStation Network right now that I haven't really started playing much. So like I have Secret Ponchos and like Attack on Titan.
Secret Ponchos was weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, I played like 2 rounds of that. It was weird.
I mean, it seems like it's a fun kind of premise.
Yeah. It's very straightforward in that it doesn't have much. Like, it's fun, but it doesn't have much depth. So
I remember. Yeah, it's online multiplayer as well, right?
yeah,
With
that's
4
all it
players?
is. I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it out because I mean, we got it for free on PlayStation Network, so I mean, might as well.
Do you guys have any games in your backlog that you guys need to play as well while we're talking about it?
So
Many
games. So obviously I've still been playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare because I really like the game. It's been having a few connectivity issues, and we need to get back on that again, Kev, because that was like when you have like a full group of people, it's just so much more fun.
Yeah.
But in terms of like my backlog, man, like all those games I just mentioned are in my backlog. Like Loadout came out on PS4 recently.
Just downloaded that. It was pretty fun. I played 1 round.
It's really good. I love
I'm
it.
told it's good. I downloaded it.
Yeah, we should play that.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, it's like very over the top, very Team Fortressy, and I'm a fan of both of those things.
Pretty pick up and play, which I like. Just clicked on the multiplayer, hopped right in, so it's nice.
I haven't finished Batman Arkham Origins at all. Like, I have that. I have Tales of Exilia. I still have to finish on PS3. I still have.
I barely even started that. I sold that back by now because that was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, right? And I was so excited for that game before it came out, and then I just got distracted because so many games came out around the same time. I was just like, I can't even. Like, Ni no Kuni, I still have not finished.
Oh, great game.
I heard nothing
Great
but
game,
good things about
infuriating. I haven't finished it either because it's infuriating.
it. Really?
In like traditional JRPG way, in that like occasionally you'll go for hours without a save point, and then a massive boss will show up and kill you instantly.
Oh my god. I heard there are some difficulty spikes that are just like random. Like, what the fuck? Like, what were you doing? Splinter Cell Blacklist is still in my backlog.
I remember you got that, yeah.
Yeah, and like one of the biggest reasons why I stopped playing it was because the game's netcode was so bad.
Oh yeah.
It was so bad. Like whenever I would play online and like play co-op, for example, it would just like people's voices would distort constantly and you couldn't hear each other. Like it would be on a super delay. I couldn't even deal.
Bob and Steve.
Bob and Steve. I was just thinking about that yesterday, dude. Special Agent Bob and Secret Agent Steve.
The gaming golden age right there.
Yes, I'm gonna, man, I gotta do like skits like that, like do more shit like that with cinema stuff, because that shit is like comedy gold.
Definitely.
He's like, this is why we call you Steve the Vagina. Dude, Kevin, I'm gonna show you the link. It's so funny.
Old G4.
It was a G4 skit. It was like on X-Play.
Okay.
It was so good.
It's like you got my attention now.
Yeah. What about you guys? What's on your backlogs?
I've been smarter this year since like 2 years ago when games started shotgunning and all releasing like 100 games at once. And I would buy them and never play them and sell them back. I've been being a lot smarter.
Yeah.
So I've got a bunch of games that I haven't bought that I want to play. But as for games I own, I just got Bayonetta 2 for Christmas and haven't touched it.
I'm so jealous.
Because I've barely played and I like since Christmas and I just got it. Little Big Planet. A bunch of stuff that like I downloaded when it was on PlayStation Plus.
Yes.
That I was like, I'll check this out. Still haven't. Or
Yeah.
I checked it out for like 5 minutes.
Plants vs. Zombies. Like, we got that for free from EA. And
Yeah.
I still haven't even booted it up. And I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, I booted that up. I haven't played yet though because I had to update. So
So we have mad games we could be playing. Like,
it's not the drought anymore, which is a good thing.
yeah.
It will be soon.
Yeah.
We got a bunch coming out in like February and March, and then nothing again until like
Right.
September. So
But I think the games that are coming out will be pretty preoccupied with, like The Witcher.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And whenever Metal Gear comes out, fucking Kojima.
Yeah.
I just want to know when it's coming.
All right.
I want Kingdom Hearts 3, and they did that little trailer, and then they're just like, oh, yeah, it's a long way off. And then in an interview, they asked the EP, they were like, so is there any chance that we might see this in 2015? And he just laughed at them. But this is the same guy that's behind like Versus 13/15, which has been in development for 15 years. So,
Right.
like, I'll be
Final
lucky to
Fantasy
see it
15
before I
years.
die.
Final Fantasy 15 years. Oh yeah, Street Fighter is well, this is a good segue into, I guess, one of the questions that are on here, which is actually one of the hot topics, but we'll skip back into that anyway since we're talking about it now. What are the games that you're most looking forward to next year?
No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah.
I was reading the full feature in whatever magazine I read.
Game Informer?
I think so, yeah. I skimmed it before and thought it looked cooler than I originally thought, and I read the whole feature, and it sounds amazing.
So what are the standout features that are just like making No Man's Sky stand out so much for you?
One, like, it's an entire galaxy. Like, they don't have a completion percentage because, as they said, like, you probably wouldn't ever get above 2%.
That's insane.
There's multiplayer in that, like, you'll see like a dot where your friends are in the galaxy, but you'll probably never, ever, ever find them.
Wow. So there isn't really a traditional actual multiplayer. It's more that, like, there are people persisting in the world.
Yep. Basically, it's just like they've made an entire universe that you can just explore, fight people, like, buy better ships. It just seems massive and fun, so... And different than anything else I've seen. So
that's pretty solid. That's a solid choice, and it's interesting that you say that too, because like people are always like, "Oh, PlayStation's just an indie station." It's like, dude, there are really fucking amazing indie games that are here and on the way. Like,
Yeah, that makes me upset.
Your definition of indie is very different than it used to be. Like, it used to be like always just some 8-bit game that was a throwaway title. Now it's like,
there's still a lot of that, to be fair.
There is, but a lot of the 8-bit games are like really good, like Towerfall Ascension. Like, that's a really fucking good game.
Yeah.
And you have games like The Forest, for example, which is essentially a copy of Minecraft, but like they brought it into like a new age of like immersion, where it's like it's a much more detailed environment, you know.
That game looks amazing.
That game looks awesome. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah.
It looks scary as fuck.
We'd be getting it so soon, and I saw the trailer and I was like, wow.
When is it coming?
I don't remember the date, but just like the announcement that it'd be coming to PS4.
Right.
Because I had seen it like a couple months back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know we'd be getting it, you know.
I'm happy about that. That's exciting.
All right.
What's your most anticipated game of next year? Trinity Marc Blu.
Of next year, I think it's one that I keep forgetting about, and then I read an article and I'm like, oh yeah, which is The Division.
Oh fuck!
Because
how did I forget about that?
Exactly. When I first saw that, I was like, I need that. Like,
I need it in my life right now.
If that game works the way they're presenting it to us, like, then I need that game. And I keep forgetting that it's even coming out, but hopefully it is actually coming out next year, because that would be amazing.
I hope it doesn't get delayed, because it already did get delayed, right?
Everything got delayed.
Yeah, everything got
This has also been the year of delays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. I mean, reflecting on the year, we've seen almost every game that has come out this year. Major title has been delayed, except for like Call of Duty.
We've got to put it in perspective, though, because there have been good delays and bad delays.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I'm kind of happy that The Witcher got delayed. If it's not ready yet, I'm totally fine with taking time.
Yeah. I'm fine with the delays.
Yeah.
Like No Man's Sky, in the interview they were saying too, like for a while they didn't even put a release date on it because they wanted it to be done when they released it, and like not enough games are doing that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I give my utmost. And that did get delayed, and it
got delayed significantly.
Yeah.
But apparently that was so they could cut the story out.
I don't get it. And then, Driveclub got delayed a year, and it's still released in a broken state. So it's like,
Evolve's been delayed more than a year now.
Oh yeah.
And what's weird is it looked like the game was almost done. Like when I saw it, like back in March,
Yeah, when I played the alpha, it was like visually and like mechanically the game is pretty sound. They needed to fix a few things in terms of like teaching you how to fucking play the game.
Yeah.
But other than that,
That's
it was
easy.
like yeah.
And now it's delayed until like October again.
Like what are they doing over there?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it just got delayed until the summer and then they decided to wait until holiday release.
What they should do is release it during the summer because that's when the least games are coming out. That's when
People have the most time too.
Yeah. Especially like, college students, for example, back home for the, jeez.
And they might be broke, but like they can afford one good game.
Right. Assuming it's a good game.
Yeah.
I think you guys know what my answer is for most anticipated game of next year, but I want to give an honorable mention to The Division, because now that you're saying that, like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be if they can live up to the promise that they're putting, it could be a really fucking amazing game.
I need to change my answer. Persona 5, duh.
Persona 5, is that releasing on PS4 or is it PS3?
It's both, and it's due out in the fall.
Interesting. I might have to jump into that series because I have Persona 4 Golden on Vita that I still haven't played. Probably
one of the best games ever made.
Really?
Yeah, if you can sink in 100+ hours, it's one of the best games ever made.
Wow. All right. I'm going to do it. I have a Vita. I might as well be doing something with it.
That is why I kept my Vita for a year, despite no games coming out, was for that one game.
Do you still have a Vita?
I don't.
Okay. And obviously you guys know my whole thing about like Vita, like portable gaming. Like I don't really do much portable gaming. So my incentive to
Same here.
My incentive to keep the Vita is very low. And like I've been like struggling back and forth between like whether or not I'm going to sell it or keep it.
Play through Persona 4 Golden before you make any decisions.
Okay.
You can sell it after you've played that, but you need to play through that.
All right.
Because Golden is way better than the original release, which you can get on PlayStation Store, like the PS2 one. It's worth it.
All right.
It's hilarious.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I remember seeing some screenshots that you posted up on Facebook of it. I was like, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honorable mention will go out to. Obviously, this game came out on last gen as well, but Street Fighter Ultra. They added obviously like whatever things that they add to Street Fighters in every iteration, whatever.
Right.
But they also added something called Omega Mode, which is like the characters like act way different. So like, for example, Ken has like this additional move that he does where like he'll like do this like forward facing kick, but he'll also throw out a fireball at the same time. Like all the characters have these alterations to them that make them like way different. So like Cammy is now like her movement speed is like up by like 75%.
Wow.
And like she has like new moves. Like they added some really interesting things to that, and I think that alone is worth my excitement. And because it's going to be on PS4, and I think I've like gone to the point where I'm not buying any PS3 games anymore.
Same here, especially since like chances are they're just going to release it on PS4 anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll go on to the gaming news. Obviously we all know because we've experienced this. PlayStation Network and Xbox Live have been taken down on Christmas Day, and the day
for several
after,
days,
and the day after that, thanks to
they're still not all the way back. Like
really,
yeah, both systems are still experiencing intermittent outages. They said.
The DDoS attack, which is denial of service, is a technique that people who consider themselves hackers use to overload servers with fake traffic to bring their service to a stall or a halt or a temporary shutdown. Now, the group claiming to be responsible for this is Lizard Squad, who, for obvious reasons, we don't like. But, like, as far as I know, the research that I've done about it, the only reason why I guess they've been doing it is to prove that they can do it.
They said later, like in a later interview, that they wanted to force Microsoft and Sony to improve their security systems, which I guess is okay, but they also said that like days after they did it, when at first they were saying they were just doing it for fun.
Yeah, exactly. I remember seeing that, and I was like,
yeah.
Really? like I could think of like 12 other things you could be doing aside from like fucking with everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
People's paid services.
yeah, exactly. And like I totally understand the idea of like giving people value for their money. Like if I'm paying for a service, it should be a secure service, and it should be set up in a way that's like doing more for my money, right?
Right.
But just like making it impossible for anyone to use their system in the first place doesn't really like. After you've done it so many times, it's like, all right, guys, you're just being dicks. Like, let them give them the chance to actually do it. You know,
right?
It doesn't happen overnight. I don't know. Hopefully, we won't be seeing too much more of that in the future. I remember Lizard Squad said a while ago that they're looking to permanently bring down Xbox Live. I don't know how the hell they're going to do that with the DDoS, but maybe they know something I don't.
Well, they said it was a lot easier to take down than PlayStation.
Really?
When they took it down with DDoS. Yeah, they took it down like a day earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
So I don't know.
Wow. Microsoft was charging for ages, and they charge more.
Yeah.
Capcom has apparently a big announcement coming up in January, and I'm kind of hesitant to say anything about that being true because very often Japanese developers and publishers are like, "Oh, we have a big announcement." It's like, "Oh, you can have a Chun-Li costume in Monster Hunter."
I mean, it's better than American developers lately, which is like, we have a big announcement. It's going to be Fallout. Tales from the Wasteland.
It's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Don't play with my emotions. It's going to be Fallout.
Yeah.
Okay.
People in the game industry, their definition of big announcement is different from what we think almost all the time.
Do we expect too much, or is it reasonable for us to be like, when they say it's a big announcement, for it to actually be something significant?
I mean, I don't know. It's all about perspective. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. To them, big announcement might just mean something that they spent time on. Not that a costume is that, but like, I don't know. I also feel like game developers, especially Japanese game developers, have been very like out of touch with their audience for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
Like,
I know what you're thinking.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking Capcom pretty much canceling Mega Man. Like, what?
Like altogether canceling Mega Man.
Sega making more and more terrible Sonic games. Square making 3 Final Fantasy 13s, despite the fact that very few people liked the first one. And re-releasing certain games and not others. I don't know.
I think the biggest example of that, and the biggest kind of argument for developers, specifically Japanese developers, to like get on board with what's going on outside of your little bubble, is Final Fantasy VII on PS4.
Yeah.
They announced that the PS4 was getting Final Fantasy. I made a video about this. Like, it was getting Final Fantasy finally. They were on stage at the PlayStation Experience. They're like, yeah, you know, after this many years, we're finally bringing it to next gen, and et cetera, et cetera. And everyone, like, the crowd was just like, oh! And then it was like, we're releasing the PC port.
Which is prettier?
It's prettier.
It still looks like a PS2 game instead of a PS1 game.
And the thing is, it's like, people have been asking for at least 7 years, maybe even more than that.
Since the PS2 came out.
Since the PS2 well, no, not even, like, remember that tech demo that people saw for Final Fantasy VII?
Yep.
Like, since then, when they saw that, they were like, this is what I want.
Which is like 2000.
So, oh my god, it's 2014. Oh my god.
It's almost 15.
Oh my god. Like, there's no way in hell, as someone who owned a business as lucrative as Square Enix, that I would look at that and be like, nope, not doing it, nope. No.
I know a lot of it is like licensing stuff for the music, for creative, for the art and everything. Like, they don't necessarily have all the rights to everything.
Okay.
So that's part of it. And I know it's also because they can remake like Final Fantasy X because it's easy because they already have all the voice acting. They already have like 3D character models,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. Whereas Final Fantasy VII, they've got like 2D backgrounds with limited animation and then little sprites. So they pretty much have to completely remake the game. So I understand the hassle, but
I understand the hassle, but like think about like how,
You'd be printing money, so
literally so much of it. Like
Yeah.
the problem that they run now is that like if they wait too long,
well,
like,
at this point, everybody has another version of it. Like,
they either have another version of it or like the newer generation doesn't know enough about Final Fantasy VII to even care.
yeah,
And so that's the other danger that they run if they wait too long is that like, we're doing Final Fantasy VII remake, and then like newer kids coming up just hopping out of high school going to college are like, what the fuck is this? Like, why should I care? Like Final Fantasy 13 was trash. So I don't know. I think they're in a very tricky spot right now. I think they've like waited it out too long.
I don't know, and it's so weird too because they know what makes a game that people love. Like Bravely Default was amazing,
Heard nothing
and it's
but good
because it
things.
was like old school JRPG in all the best ways.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they don't do that with like bigger releases. They just ignore what gamers want and just do what they want.
Right.
I don't know. They need to fix that shit. I'm hoping this Capcom announcement has something to do with either Onimusha or
Oh, I totally forgot that was a series that I liked.
exactly. Exactly. When was the last time you even heard the name mentioned from Capcom?
Probably the third game on PS2.
Yeah, that was. I mean, they made a fourth game on PS2 as well.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and that's another problem. Like people just don't know. They don't know enough about the franchise. They don't know enough about.
And it was before trophies, so I can't even go back and see what I did.
Right.
Right. They're fucking up. What other thing? I mean, they have Deep Down that they like talked about before, and now it's like ages later, and no one fucking knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I don't understand what's taking so long with that.
I mean, they should be showing off or like telling us more about it or something.
Right.
Like they've just been very. I mean, I understand be quiet until you have something significant to show, but
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Apparently, they just showed some new like dungeon gameplay or something like that. I saw an article about, but I haven't seen.
I think I remember seeing some screenshots. I was like, I'm tired of screenshots. I want to see the fucking game.
All right.
No, there is speculation that it might be another Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Be something a little different.
Or a Resident Evil game. Which would not surprise me at all. They released those, like, I don't know.
Resident Evil Revelations is a thing that's happening very soon,
Yep.
and I'm not looking forward to it.
Nope.
I'm not even excited a little bit. Like, I used to really like Resident Evil.
Yep. And then, like, 5 happened. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Or 4. 4 wasn't even good.
Well, I liked 4 a lot. It was very obviously action oriented, but it's still like it brought a little bit of that modern control.
Yeah, I
to the
remember
series.
people liking 4,
Yeah.
but I think they were expecting like kind of that new experience with 5 as well, but they just overdid it completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they turned it into like 4 was like it was action / horror.
Right.
5 was just action.
I think that is a good place to talk about when you should just reboot a series. Because I
Yes.
think the problem with Resident Evil is they've gone too far, like, away from their roots. That
Yes.
new games aren't about, like, surviving and killing zombies. They're about, like, saving the president from a virus. That's what 6 is about. Like,
Yeah. Well, the president. Well, spoiler alert. In 6, the president he's gone.
Yeah.
There's no saving him.
yeah.
Right.
But, like, I don't know, if they rebooted it and didn't just do, like, re-release the GameCube remake like what they're going to do,
Right.
like, if they actually rebooted it, like, put people in the mansion, keep some of the same ideas, but make it different, I think that it could be wildly successful.
Absolutely.
And it could allow them to do, like, 10 more Resident Evils that people would actually buy.
And make headshots kind of like kill things.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing Resident Evil 6 and it's like, oh, add this perk in order to make headshots do more damage. I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me, what?
I mean-
Headshots.
Like for
For
like the
zombies.
regular standard zombies,
Yeah.
one headshot does not kill them.
Well, who says that zombies use their brains? They're reanimated tissue. Like, you don't know what's powering them.
But the whole idea was them for to be the zombies. You get rid of the brain matter, they have no more. That was the original idea, right? It was like that was what you were supposed to do: shoot zombies in the head, and then
I don't know. In some zombie mythos, you have to dismember the body entirely and then burn it. So, like,
Oh,
nothing
yeah,
stops
that's
them. So,
So I remember there was a certain type of enemy in Resident Evil that you had to do that. You had to like burn the corpse because they would keep reanimating.
yeah.
Like that makes sense because it's like Yeah, that makes sense. But like, if an enemy can be killed with the headshot, like, don't make me shoot it 3 times in the head.
Right.
Like that's just like
if there's like a horde of them just coming for you.
Right, and that's like fabricated, like similar to what Destiny did with the length of the game. It's like fabricated difficulty.
Right.
It's like you just like when games have terrible controls. It's like, oh, the game is so hard. It's like it's hard because you made the character move like a fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah.
that's one thing. But Nintendo has been confirmed to be working on their next console.
Not
What?
a big deal.
Not a big
Everybody's working on a new console. If Sony and Microsoft aren't working on a new console,
Yeah.
they're fools.
deal. Right. My question in relation to that is, how soon out do you think Nintendo's next console is? Do you think
3 years.
3 years?
3.
Because I remember when the Wii U came out, you know, the Wii was a very specific device that was supposed to be catered towards like the more casual crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Wii U came out at kind of like the apex. I remember Black Ops 2 was out and Wii U was launching as well. And it was like, the Wii U was like this new console, blah, blah, blah. It was like that in between like last gen and like next gen.
Which I think they're going to do again.
You think so?
That's why I'm saying 3 years.
Okay.
That way the Wii U will have had 5 years and people won't feel gypped.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they're releasing that they're working on it, I feel like they have something,
Right.
but not like enough to show anything. So I'd say they'll announce it in 3 years, and then it'll come out in like either fall of 2018, or like shortly thereafter.
It's so weird to think about those numbers together.
It really is.
Like 2020, look, we might be alive in 2020. Hopefully we're alive in 2020.
I'd say the earliest that they're going to come out with something is fall of 2017, which is still a ways away.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe not. Nintendo's crazy, so.
I mean, I feel like
Nintendo also frequently like previews games and then doesn't set a release date until like a week before it comes out.
right.
Which makes
I feel
no
like
sense.
for them to not be like completely embarrassed with just the Wii U's cycle so far, they need to pump out some good software for it before
Which they
they
have.
even which they're starting to do and they have done.
It took a while though, yeah.
Yeah, it took a while for it to happen, but I think they need a more steady stream of that before they even get into the new console just yet. So it's weird, you know, that we're hearing like they're working on it. Obviously, they're working on it, but the fact that they're kind of putting that out there is a little strange.
Right, that they're like talking about them working on it.
Yeah.
What is so? Kevin, you already have a Wii U,
I do. I love it.
and Darius, you're thinking about getting your Wii U. Very
Decided
soon.
I
You
want
decided?
it.
I don't play it that much, like,
Mm-hmm.
but Nintendo games are just amazing. Like,
Yeah.
first-party Nintendo games are always like the worst they are is good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Mario Kart 8 spectacular. Smash
Mhm.
Brothers is great.
Bayonetta 2.
I still haven't played it. I can't speak to it. I've heard it's great.
I want it.
Zelda looks amazing.
Yes, it does.
Does.
It does.
Dude.
That might be the thing that tips me over the edge of picking one up. Cause like, I've never been like a giant Zelda fan, but this isn't in a direction that I think like I can pick up, you know, Wind Waker, for example. I played some of that and I liked it, and then I could play, you know, this. I can play most of the other, you know, Legend of Zelda games on the Wii U. So it's like I have access to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I also still enjoy like New Super Mario Brothers is really fun. Like, it's very fun to pick up, play for a while. Or Mario 3D World is really fun too. So I don't know. Nintendo puts out good games.
Right.
I laughed at the Wii U when it came out, and I still kind of do. I think that overall it's a flawed idea, but the system is really fun.
Okay.
And the graphics are, considering they're not like PS4 quality, for Nintendo products, they're amazing. Like Mario Kart 8 looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah, they
good.
did a really good job with the art direction behind that game, the vibrancy and the energy. You know, it feels like.
I mean, the system was basically just made for Nintendo games,
right.
which is good because third-party developers don't develop for it. So, unless it's little kid shovelware.
Right. Like I was in GameStop yesterday and I saw that Tekken Tag is for Wii U. I was like, what?
That's weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. They
I had
have
no-
Pokken coming out for the Wii U.
Yeah, Pokken looks cool.
Yeah. I know
Nice.
you're a big Tekken fan, so
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah. I can't. I know this is far out. It's not coming out next year, probably 2016. But I want Street Fighter 5.
Oh, it looks amazing.
I want it so bad.
Even that early footage looks great.
Yeah, I'm wondering like what they're going to choose for the art style though, because like the way it is now, it's like they're trying to make it a little bit realistic, a little bit not.
Mm-hmm.
They're totally gonna throw you for a loop, and it's gonna be Little Big Planet.
It's gonna be a little sack Ryu.
Yep.
Hadouken.
I noticed that though. It's no longer the like steroided up Ryu.
Yeah.
A little more realistic looking.
Yeah. And like I I'm all for creative freedom. Obviously, they do what they want to do, but I'm kind of like after like I just got Guilty Gear not too long ago. I sold a PS3 controller and Lords of the Fallen, and I had to pay like a little bit to make up for Guilty Gear because I was like, I'm not spending any more money on myself.
Right.
But I couldn't. I wanted that game so bad, and I love that series, and so like I ended up picking it up, and like it's using the Unreal Engine 3, I think, and it's technically cel shaded, but
Yeah.
like, the way it looks
That's
like
the
it's all.
demo.
It looks amazing.
It's like it's 2D while you're playing, and then you finish a fight, and it goes 3D, and it's just like.
And the cutscenes are like that too. So like in this, they have a story mode in it, and so like the cutscenes are like they're 3D models, but they still look like they're 2D drawn. It's like the way they did it was very, very, very like masterfully done. I'm
It's like some of the best looking 2D I've ever seen.
And so I was like, if Street Fighter did something like that, kind of mix in a little bit of the cel shadedness with what they have now, I think that would be really cool looking. I would be totally into it. But yeah, Guilty Gear, great game. It's really execution heavy, so it's not really that welcoming to newcomers.
Right.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. And then the last thing in gaming news, since there isn't really that much going on in gaming news, I guess it's more or less the wind down from the year. You know, Gravity Rush is one of those games that came out on the Vita that
was really fun.
It was a fun game. I really liked the game. I can see after a while it kind of like getting a little repetitive or...
Oh yeah, I did not finish that.
Yeah, I still didn't finish it yet either. So like after a while it did become a little bit repetitive, but like the idea, you know, the visual style, the technology that's being used behind it is very novel, very cool. And the developers behind that are supposedly working on possibly a sequel. Do you think... The Vita is in a very strange place, right?
Yeah.
It's like they have games, but at the same time, not that many people are really invested in the system.
Well, and most games are like re-releases of other games, like on other systems.
Right.
So.
They're getting a lot of like PS3 ports on the Vita.
Right. Do you think it makes sense as a developer to make the game for the Vita, since the Gravity Rush 1 was on Vita, the Vita exclusive? Do you think it makes more sense to make it like a PS4 and Vita thing, or does it make more sense to make it a Vita thing to make people more interested in Vita in the first place?
I don't know. At this point in Vita's life, I'm also not sure how invested Sony is.
Right.
Like, Sony seems to have almost just forgotten that it exists. Like,
I think they're kind of accepting that it didn't do as well as they had hoped, and kind of just focusing on the PS4 since that's doing probably better than they thought it would. So
I'd say release it on Vita and then do a different edition for consoles, like what they did with Tearaway.
yeah, Tearaway.
Yeah.
That's probably the smartest decision, like financially. As much as I hate re-releases, if it's switching system types, I'm less opposed to it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go.
I agree. And we're going to move on to our hot topics. We already answered our other hot topic that was here. Before I ask our final question, I suppose, do you have any guest topics, either of you, that you'd like to incorporate into the podcast?
Crickets.
I just saw that. I don't know how true it is, but I just saw that the Xbox One has topped 10 million worldwide.
Wow.
It's pretty good milestone. I didn't know that they were that close to 10 million.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, they were still just barely cracking 6 million, right? It was like,
I mean, holiday just came, so I'd believe it.
holiday they just released in China.
Mm-hmm. That could account for a lot of sales.
Yeah,
Because the PS4 is what, like 16 million? Or last time they reported it, probably more now.
yeah, I think it was like 16 million before the holiday rush.
It could be at 20 by now.
It's very possible. I mean, I'm still not sure because like the Xbox, they went so hard this season, so hard. Like they dropped the price of their console by an additional $50. In some places, additional $70 or $80.
$329 in some places.
Yeah, and they came with games. Like they came bundled with games. And
Well, that's what finally made me buy a Wii U. Was like during the summer, because it's the summer. It came with Mario, and I got another free game for buying it. Like,
right.
and that's what finally did it.
Yeah, I think when the Wii U was like $200, I'd be like, hey, let me get that Wii U.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's my sweet spot for it. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive what Microsoft has been able to do, considering where they were not that long ago.
Right. Definitely impressive.
But moving forward, unless they keep the price of the Xbox One the same, there's a good chance that like what happened this year will happen again next year. Like so it'll just.
To answer your question, it looks like as of December 1st, PS4 sales were reported at 15.4 million.
Okay.
Okay.
So at this point, they've probably topped 17. But there's also no way of knowing because they're not going to release it until at least January 1st. So.
Right. We'll find out soon enough.
PlayStation's doing the thing.
I'm so happy that they are.
Yeah.
Last generation was tough.
Right. I mean, it started off real rough.
Yeah.
It was very hard to be like, yeah, PlayStation 4. Like, why are you paying so much money for a PlayStation 4? All you have is Resistance.
Like, you mean PlayStation 3?
I'm 3, sorry. PlayStation 3.
And it was pricey.
It was pricey as fuck.
It was pricey.
It's like $500 to $600. I was like,
But the difference was you could sell your PS2 because
that's true.
it played PS2 games and PS1 games.
Yeah. That was my baby. No longer does that though, because I had to switch it out because I think it was on the verge of dying.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Hey, GameStop, you having a promotion?"
I couldn't even be mad because like it lived for like 6 or 7 years of like constant playing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I mean, I could be mad because the new ones, were smaller, but also didn't do half the stuff.
Right. I remember my first PS3 died. Like I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4, final chapter. I was almost done with the game. Darius remembers this because I went over to his house to finish the game. My PS3, the lens died on it. It was just like final thing, and then all of a sudden, like the game just stopped and froze. I was like, oh, no big deal. The game froze.
Right, that happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, right? And so I saw like a yellow light on the PS3. I was like, this doesn't seem normal. And so like I literally tried for like a half hour. I kept putting it back in.
Same thing with me with Modern Warfare 2, I think it was.
Oh man.
Mass Effect 3.
Oh my god.
But mine, it was that I think it was that the hard drive was essentially just failing. So I got it fixed and it worked for like 2 more months, and then it stopped entirely.
Right. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm upset because like technically I went through 3 PS3s. Again, the last PS3 I went through, like it didn't die, but I felt like it was on the verge of it because like I was seeing a lot of like graphical errors and like it would freeze more often than like it should have been.
Yeah.
And so like I traded it into GameStop. They could fix it if they needed to. And they had a promotion where if you were like trading it in, you would get like an additional like $50 of credit. So I was like, might as well.
Yeah.
But I hope this generation proves a little bit more useful because like my first PS4 like didn't work. But I knew very soon into
Oh yeah, I remember your hard drive issues.
Man, it wasn't even just a hard drive. I think it was something else. I think it was something else entirely because like I'd used 2 different hard drives with the entire thing, and neither of them worked.
And that was like right when you got it too.
Oh my god.
At least it was right when you got it,
Right.
and not after you've been playing it for a while.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. Anyway, here's to hoping that this generation is even more reliable than last. Because last one, I know the Xbox 360s. Those had some hard times.
Oh yeah.
There were people I know and people who would comment. They said they went through 5 360s.
Yep.
And that was before like the end of the generation. It was like 3 years in, like it was that many. I was like, dude, at some point you just got to put this shit down and be like, no more.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for coming onto the podcast. This is a really great episode, and I have here the Black Oni mug.
Hey,
for you guys at home, make sure you pick one up. It's like $20. And maybe you guys will get something special soon.
The shirt's pretty cool.
Yeah, aside from it smelling weird.
But that'll go away. That's just like ink.
Yeah. Like when it came in, I was just like, what the fuck is that smell?
I like the, I wasn't sure the black on black would work, but it's good. It's like shiny and good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool little effect. And I didn't even know it was going to be shiny. Like, this is my first time ever trying Teespring out. And so,
all right.
I think moving forward, the other designs are going to be through Zazzle because like I'm more familiar with their infrastructure and like how they work. And there's like no pressure to like have it be done at a certain time, so people can just pick it up, whatever. So the shirt that you have and the shirt that anyone else at home who ordered one has is a limited edition. There won't be any versions of that for like at least another year. I might make like another like iteration / version of it later on, but that particular one is that was your chance. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, we will all catch you guys on the next podcast / gameplay session.
Yep.
Game on.
And if it isn't December 31st, check out the giveaways, because more people should enter.
BlackOnlyBlog.com.
Yep.
Game on, and J Blaze out.